The second one on the cloverleaf that we look at is structure. And structure is either mini-plot, archplot, or antiplot. And I'm just going to give a very global explanation of what I mean by each. So archplot is usually focused on a single protagonist. And that single protagonist moves from, they change, they go on an arc movement, they transform their mind, their body, and their spirit throughout the course of the story. And that doesn't mean that you have to have these massive changes, only that they do change. They do have a change of perspective by the end of the story. And oftentimes they have other changes too. So Archplot is usually about a single protagonist. So Sam, our single audience member, experiences the story by sort of attaching to that protagonist, and they see the world through the eyes of the protagonist. They see that simulation as the protagonist experience it throughout the story. The second kind is mini-plot. Now, mini-plot is usually sort of what we would call those grand societal stories. Now, they don't necessarily have to be that way, but mini-plot is generally Sam, our single audience member, experiences the story through multiple points of view, multiple perspectives. And there's all kinds of things to do to enable that functionality to Sam, but they seem to get a feeling for the entire society because they look through the eyes of multiple different avatars as they are moving through the story. Now, at StoryGrid, we call the people who populate stories avatars as opposed to characters. So mini-plot is multiple avatar point of view perspective to the single audience member. And archplot is a single protagonist perspective to the single audience member. Lastly is antiplot. And antiplot is a very strange structural idea. It's generally not conducive to the way we envision the world, right? So the way we experience the world is very specific. And antiplot is very non-specific. It's extraordinarily random. It's multi-chaotic. One of the movements in the 1960s was the French New Wave film movement. And one of the proprietors of those was a guy named Jean-Luc Godard. And Godard is famous for having films that are very anti-plot. So, for example, things that would never seemingly be able to happen just start happening without any knowledge of why that was. So there's no sort of functionality or purpose beyond the coincidental random drop-in of events. So antiplot is not very popular. And the reason why is because it's extraordinarily difficult to understand or follow. And that's the point.